Us hairy game lords have been playing this tonight, Sherlock 13 from Arcane Wonder and BoardM Factory. What did we think? Find out. This little game is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed it. Love the artwork on it. I feel like it's the same guy who probably did Treasure Island. Is it the same person?
Vincent Dudrake.
Yes, that's him. So on the box. So I love the artwork. Everybody has like these little player cards. Oh, shall I just get it out and show everybody? And the game. Hey! Make him laugh. Everyone's got like these little player card sort of shield tings. Look at him. Fantastic. All of those are the same inside. They can tell you the 3 different things that you can do. 1, you can ask, hey, can I have a show of hands, guys? Who's got pipes on their cards?
I've got pipes.
I've got pipes.
I've got pipes.
And then I can write down on my thing. This is James.
Oh no, don't show mine.
I can write down somehow.
What does it
what the heck?
mean? What does it mean?
James,
It may have a beard, but is in fact 3.
Right, so then you can write down on your form in a probably a little bit more of a
Systematic and logical way.
yeah than what James does.
Legible. I think
Legible.
James is clearly a creative mind, not a scientific mind.
No, logical. So you can then write down who's got what. Well, you can say, oh yeah, they've got that, but you don't know the number, the amount. Then you could say, James, have you got how many pearl necklaces do you have?
I have 1.
Good. Excellent. So there's that. And then when you've worked out, or you've got a kind of idea, or when Dave has given off signs that he knows exactly who it is, and so you just think, right, I've got 3 names left. I'm just gonna go for a wild stab in the dark. You can say, I think the card in the middle is the person who's done the crime.
And be wrong.
And be wrong. Yeah, be wrong. And but yeah, really enjoyed this game. Someone else can explain a little bit more about what happens. But I am usually absolutely Billy Bertie Bobbins at games like this and trying to understand it and get my head around it. I just don't understand Cluedo. I don't understand what you do on that. But got this game straight away. Really enjoyed it. And I think we played it through, 3 times? And we're like, oh, can we play it again?
Let's
can we play it again? Yeah, so lots and lots of replayability on this. There are even different variants that you can play for different number of people. I mean, it goes up to 4, and I think 4 is a really good number to play it with. But yeah, it plays down to 2, and there's some variants that you can play on that to keep the game going longer and stuff like that. So, defo, check this one out. Really good.
Slightly beardy James here. Yes, these are the scribblings of a madman. I don't know. It did make sense to me at the time. Like, I was vaguely in control of knowing what's going on. I don't think I made too many mistakes. Basically, at the start of the game, you get given 3 of these. Everybody, well, actually, all of the people get dealt out, so they're all in somebody's hands. And you know about 3 people who aren't the person who did it. In the middle is the person who did it, and you're trying to figure out who it is. Everybody's got these 3, not these 3, these bits of symbols here. So there are 8 symbols which are spread across the people. So at the moment I know about 2 book people. This person's got a bit of, eyeliner going on here. He's also in the police. There's a pipe. There's a necklace. You can examine the necklace closer there. And there is a light bulb. So I know about those 3 people, and I'm going to work that out into my sheet. So here's me telling myself about what I know. And then I'm going to ask about what is going on there. Straight away we thought of Cluedo. Like, Cluedo has got this kind of same thing of like, you know a little bit, but everybody else knows a little bit as well. You're trying to figure it all out. We were saying this has basically got all the best bits about Cluedo. Plays way quicker, and you don't have to move around a board and faff about and all that business. Everything is very public. So, for example, Dave asks a question. We all know what the answer is because everyone says it. Everyone puts their hands up. Everyone says exactly how many they've got, so you are able to piece together about like from that. Actually, every single question gives you loads of information. So it is all the best bits of Cluedo boiled down into something that plays really quickly. We wanted to play this again and again and again after we filmed this review. I hope we played again because it is really fun. And as Andrew mentioned as well, the art is really nice. Even though you don't actually spend much time looking at that, what you do is spend time looking at the scribblings of a madman. So yeah, I didn't win this, but I want to play it again. Again!
Hi, Dave's great. So, Sherlock 13. To be honest, when we first got it out, I wasn't entirely sure whether I was going to enjoy this, because that kind of sort of deduction-y kind of thing, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. This is great. Very simple, quick to play, although I think 10 minutes into the first game, Pete did say, this is supposed to be about 15 minutes. With the way we're going, might be more like 45. Not that there was any sort of analysis paralysis going on at all from anybody in the room. But the fact that all of the questions, as James said, are entirely public, the only thing that you can really control is the knowledge of exactly what's in your hand. Which is why Pete won the third game, because he just completely lucked out with having two of the main suspects in his hand, so it obviously wasn't them. But anyway, so yeah, you control what's in your hand. Everything else, everybody knows. So you actually have to be careful. And there were a couple of times I was like, I can find out exactly who it is if I ask one question. But if I ask the question, I can't guess. And then James will then also know, because surely he's been paying attention and hasn't just scrawled all sorts of complete and abject rubbish all over his sheet. So I needn't actually have worried quite so much. But yeah, you're thinking, if I ask this, that is then public knowledge and it'll tell me. But if anybody else has followed the same logical train of thought as you, they'll know as well and be able to guess before you do. However, knowing what's in your hand can give you that edge. So it's really simple. I think we played 3 games, but we were supposed to play 1, and then we needed to play it again because it was ace, and then we needed to play it again because it was even acer, and then we really had to stop because we had something else to play, and otherwise we'd still be playing Sherlock Holmes at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and James would have just gone completely hat stand. But I absolutely love this. It's probably the kind of game that you can play, with your family as well. It's not difficult. We really enjoyed it as sort of fairly, probably hardened, crusty gamers. But you could probably play this, with your kids as well. You might have to go a little bit easy on them, unless you're James. But yeah, a game for everybody. Tons of fun. And there's so much more game to it than I think maybe you'd give it credit for just looking at the box. Thoroughly recommend it. Possibly 3 thumbs up.
Whoa!
But I'm not quite sure how Sherlock Holmes can be the bad guy. That's my only thought. One of the options is for Sherlock Holmes or Dr. Watson to be the criminal. Unless we're in some sort of crazy, topsy-turvy Moriarty world.
So, Hipster King here, in terms of what I thought, pretty much exactly the same as the other guys. This game, by the end, we were playing in about 6 to 8 minutes. I think the final game was even faster than that, just because, as Dave said, I won, but I looked out. The two, depending on who that card is in the centre, if it's a card that hasn't got many additional... if it's one of the ones where you've only got 3 or 4 of those icons in the game, if you happen to have a number of those, you've got a real advantage over everybody else, and then it's just working out which one it isn't, which is what I had to do. And the bit that one of the things that Dave was saying, somebody else can gift you the win by giving you that one piece of information by asking the right question for you without realising they're passing. They're giving you the information you need. So it's that bit is you could probably get a little bit more strategic about the questions you ask if you really wanted to. And at some point, I think people were taking guesses rather than potentially lose the game to somebody else who might have already figured it out. It's that kind of fine balancing act when it starts, once you've gone round a couple of times and people are starting to work out who it is. This game costs around £13 in the UK, which for me is it's a brilliant price point. You're going to get a lot of fun out of this game. There's an additional option in the rules to play a more advanced game once you've really got the game down, where you order your cards and you only use a couple of the cards when you're answering the questions. So you're not using all of your cards. So it'll take longer to get to the answer and trying to work out which cards people are answering. They have to use the same cards and then they sort of cycle through the cards. So trying to keep an eye on where people are up to would make this a lot more thinky. But at the same time, you could, like Cluedo, you can play this with probably relatively young children because it's symbols and it's just matching symbols and a bit of logic. Simple deduction. Absolutely loved it. Played fast. Nice looking game, and I don't think you can go wrong for a price point like that. Definitely worth a look.
Stop the children in the room. James is just like, what do you mean? Why is that funny?
I know what you're
Your
talking
innocence is
about.
beautiful.
I know what you're talking about, okay? Jewellery!
Please don't search it on Google.
I could send you some photos.
Hi.
Hi!
Didn't
Came-
even say
we
at that
came too soon
time.
then.
Yeah. Yet again, came too soon. Hi. Weird echo. Hi. Hi.
Hi, Dave.
Hello.